Welcome to the Brain Alpha. Today's explainer is all about how working fewer hours can actually skyrocket your productivity and your income. We're totally flipping the script on the standard American workday. Because, look, if you've been grinding relentlessly but your success just seems stuck at a ceiling, the problem isn't your work ethic. It's how you're managing your absolute most precious resource. Okay, let's dive right into this. Science actually proves that the human brain's absolute limit for deep, intense focus is exactly 4 hours a day. That's literally it. If you're pushing yourself to do complex, high-level thinking for 8, 10, or 12 hours a day, you're not actually getting more done. You're basically just torturing your brain and hitting massive diminishing returns. So today, we're going to see how leveraging a strict 4-hour window of deep work can completely transform your output. We're talking about potentially turning your yearly income into your monthly income. So here's our agenda for today's explainer. First, the 4-hour focus limit. Second, the attention economy trap. Third, the proximity drain effect. Fourth, core work versus busy work. And finally, ritualizing your workday. Let's break down exactly how to stop burning out in modern hustle culture and start leveraging a much smarter daily framework. All right, starting with Section 1, the 4-hour focus limit. To kick things off, we need to completely rethink how we view our daily energy. It's time to stop looking at time as the ultimate metric of productivity and start looking at cognitive capacity. Think of your cognitive resources just like a smartphone battery. You wake up after a solid night's sleep, fully charged, but every single micro-decision, task, and distraction drains that reserve. Deep work, that state of intense, completely distraction-free concentration, is incredibly taxing on your system. It eats up your cognitive capacity so fast. And since this energy pool is strictly limited, you've really only got about 2 to 4 hours of peak juice available for the heavy lifting every single day. And this right here perfectly illustrates why the old-school 90s American corporate hustle of juggling a dozen tasks at once is actually a massive drain on your mental capacity. You know the vibe, the ultimate go-getter with a phone squeezed between their ear and shoulder, typing an email, waving a coworker into the office. Well, modern science has entirely debunked that. It turns out, constantly splitting your attention is basically cognitive self-harm. It destroys your focus, throttles your processing speed, and rapidly drains that mental battery, all without actually producing any high-quality work. Moving on to Section 2, the attention economy trap. So, if our battery is so strictly limited, what exactly is running in the background and draining it so fast before we even sit down to do the real work? Well, the answer is right in your pocket. Tech giants in Silicon Valley have built this incredibly lucrative attention economy. You've got to remember, these companies hire top-tier neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and cognitive experts for literally one single purpose: to keep you endlessly scrolling. They engineer these platforms to maximize your screen time so they can serve you more ads. When you're mindlessly scrolling social media, you are not relaxing. You're actively giving away your limited cognitive resources to these tech companies. And the cost of these interruptions is just staggering. It takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after just one Slack or iMessage notification. Just really think about that for a second. You're in a state of deep, productive flow, and your phone buzzes. Even if you just quickly glance at it and put it right back down, your brain's focus has been totally shattered. It'll take you nearly half an hour to get back to the level of deep concentration you were at before that single ping. Your battery is basically bleeding out from 1,000 tiny cuts. Which brings us to Section 3, the proximity drain effect. Let's see how even the physical presence of your devices impacts your success. Because just turning off your notifications, that's not going to be enough. This is absolutely mind-blowing. A study by Adrian F. Ward at the University of Texas at Austin found that even if your phone is turned completely off and placed face down, simply having it in your line of sight subconsciously drains your cognitive resources. No way, right? But it's true, because your brain is actively having to use energy to suppress the urge to check it. You are literally using up your valuable working memory just to ignore that piece of glass and metal sitting on your desk. So the solution here is immediate and highly effective. You've got to put a physical wall between you and your phone when you sit down for deep work. If you want to actually tap into those 4 hours of peak performance, leave your phone in another room entirely. Turn off all those non-essential desktop notifications. You absolutely have to aggressively protect your cognitive battery from the environment around you. All right, Section 4, core work versus busy work. Now that we've stopped the massive battery drain, how do we best allocate our 4 hours of peak mental energy? This is exactly where the magic happens and where your income potential shifts. The absolutely crucial point here is separating your revenue-generating core work from the endless cycle of administrative busy work. Your core work involves those big, creative tasks that directly move the needle: ideation, high-level strategy, creating content, or driving sales. This stuff demands peak cognitive resources, so it absolutely must be done in the morning when your battery is fully charged. Busy work, on the other hand, that's answering emails, filling out expense reports, routine admin stuff. It doesn't require high-level brain power. If you waste your morning battery on busy work, you're going to have absolutely nothing left in the tank for the tasks that actually generate wealth. And of course, the data fully backs this up. A study from the University of British Columbia proves that pushing admin tasks to a single afternoon batch significantly lowers your daily stress. It makes total sense. Instead of constantly context switching between deep work and checking emails all morning long, you power through your 4 hours of core work first. Then, you just knock out all your emails at once in the afternoon when your energy is naturally lower. It is incredibly efficient. Finally, we have Section 5, Ritualizing Your Workday. Let's look at how to cement all of this into a rock-solid habit that protects your time and, quite frankly, your sanity. By creating strict starting and stopping rituals, you signal to your brain exactly when it's time to perform and exactly when it's time to recharge. Step 1. Before you even start your 4-hour block, define your goals and write down your clear intent for the day. This cuts right through the mental clutter. Step 2 is executing that deep work block. But step 3 is just as critical. You need an ending ritual. Review what you accomplished, write down your key tasks for tomorrow, and then literally close your laptop. Closing it physically stops your brain from thinking about work all evening, which is exactly what allows your cognitive battery to fully recharge overnight. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Will you protect your cognitive battery tomorrow morning? It's time to stop giving your very best energy to distractions and busy work. If you guard those 4 hours of deep focus, your output is going to absolutely transform. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and help us build the hype. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.